Welcome back to Edger, presented by FanDuel as part of the Hammer Betting Network. I'm Alex Moretto, joined here today once again by So Money Sports to break down the start of the Carolina Hurricanes and Washington Capitals series, the Edmonton Oilers and Vegas Golden Knights series, and react to a pretty wild start to round two last night in Toronto. A lot of hysteria coming out of that game, as is to be expected from both Panthers fans and Leafs fans. From NHL media alike as well. Pretty crazy start to round one, I would say. So Money, your Leafs get the game one victory, a important game one victory. What felt like kind of a game they needed to win, just for like themselves and their belief. You go down 1-0 at home to Florida. It feels like it's kind of curtains almost. You don't want to overreact to one game, but that's kind of the feeling you had going into that one. Bob looks very human, struggles early, helps the Leafs get out to a nice lead, but not to take away from the Leafs, who also started that game very well. We saw the pushback, which you expected from Florida. They came very close. Obviously, there was maybe the Bennett incident, and Wall comes in cold. He struggles a little bit, similarly to how Bobrovsky struggled early. And then, there's no call on the Bennett incident, which we will talk about as well. And then there's no call in the build-up to the Leafs' fifth goal, where Reinhart is pretty clearly tripped as he goes to the net, crashes into the end boards. Leafs come back down the other way. A really, really nice play by Marner to send Knies in on a breakaway. Leafs end up restoring that 2-goal lead. Panthers make it a 1-goal lead again late, but ultimately fall short. Just a crazy game. I'll start with the Bennett stuff before we get into our takeaways from game one. We were talking about this a little bit beforehand. Did you feel like there was some discipline that was warranted stemming from that? Where do you come in on that one?
I'm still confused because when I look at that replay, right, like clearly it's goaltender interference, right? Like he cut through, he didn't give Stolarz his space or his lane to do anything. So clearly it's goaltending interference. But then to get past that, right? And like if we just for a second just take his name out of it and just look at it that it's just an average player doing what he did, I didn't see a blatant elbow. I saw him kind of shove Stolarz, if you can say that, right? And kind of get in his way and kind of try to move him off his line, move him off his crease, right? Now, you can't do that. So that is a 2-minute penalty. But beyond that, I don't see anything there, right? Like even like going frame by frame with the replay, like I didn't see an extension of an elbow. I didn't see it just wasn't blatant to me. It was more so that I'm gonna mess with this guy because Bennett's like that, and that's fine. It's playoff hockey, right? Like I'm gonna get in the goalie's face, kind of bump him a little bit, try to get him off his game, and that's about it, right? And like you can't do that, so you get a 2-minute penalty for that, and that probably should be the end of it, right? But now you got to add the layer of it's which player did it. The goalie got hurt, and I don't think you can add those layers. I think you just need to look at what it was, and it was a penalty, and it should have just been called a 2-minute penalty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think it's his reputation that precedes him here, and that is why there is this big uproar. I know these fans have it out with the Department of player safety. They think that they have been shorted many times in the past, which I'm not going to get into the history of all that, but I think it's basically just a reputation thing with Bennett. I think this is a complete non-issue if you hide the player names and just look at it as an isolated event. A complete non-issue. Pretty clear to me that I'm no doctor. I have no medical background, and I cannot say anything for certain, obviously. But just based on like how the contact happened, it seems pretty clearly that he was probably concussed before that, off the shot to the head, and that just aggravated it. The repeated blow, the multiple hits. There's been a lot of evidence that multiple hits have significant impact on concussions. He was definitely going into that already shaken up. You saw the clips out there of him like kind of shaking his head a bit after that shot to the head. It was pretty apparent because like it's not like Bennett's coming in and blowing him up, right? You've seen guys take massive shots to the head, big hits before, don't end up with concussions or anything like that. This was very not soft, but it was marginal contact at best. There was nothing serious. It didn't look like it looked like a complete nothing play. To me, it seems pretty clear. I would say that he was probably injured before that, and maybe something the spotter should have noticed and protected him from before it even got to that point. So Bennett obviously has a history of towing the line very, very successfully, where he's avoided discipline many times in the past for some questionable plays. So his reputation is rightfully going to, precede him here, and there's going to be an uproar, and I can completely understand why there is. But yeah, for me as well, there's zero reason to suspend him. If you call a penalty on the play, we don't even have to have this discussion, right? But with the fact that there was nothing there, obviously people are going to feel wronged and stuff. But like I said, this stuff evens out. I mean, Reinhart was obviously very clearly tripped. I know some Leafs fans who, even the most, biased of Leafs fans who I have in my life, were like, wow, we got away with one there. Now Reinhart gets tripped going towards the net on that play that leads up into the fifth Leafs goal. So, yeah, I mean, it all evens out in the end. Ultimately, the Leafs come away with the win. I don't think that it's worth it for them to get wrapped up in all this and get pulled away from the game. Just like this is, Florida. If you start getting wrapped up in this eye for an eye, and we're gonna get revenge and dress games and all this, that's like that. You're just playing right into Florida's hands. Florida will out eye for an eye you the entire series if that's what you want to get into. That is not the type of game you want to play with them.
Absolutely, and I think that's kind of what Florida wants, right? Like we saw them bullying Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay couldn't respond. They just weren't good enough, and they weren't, and they were pretty banged up as well. Mm-hmm. I think the Leafs have an opportunity here, right? Like we've talked about this before. This is a calmer team. This is a different team. Like you have an opportunity here. Just don't get caught up in the extracurricular stuff that you usually do against this team. And I think you'll be okay.
Yeah. So takeaways from the game, obviously if you're a Leafs fan, you got to be feeling pretty good. I think there's a few different ways to look at it. Leafs show that they can obviously play with them when they're on their A game. But there's also the fact that, hey, okay, well, Leafs probably played their best game we've seen from them. Maybe not just all playoffs, but I wouldn't say all season, because that's pretty recency bias. I'm sure there's been some great games, but like they played one of their best games of the year. They pretty much brought the best that they can bring. And they were in a war at the end still with Florida, who realistically started terribly, did not get any saves early on. And, they still were able to make it a very interesting game late. In the end, Leafs get a couple big power play opportunities. That was the kind of the concerning thing for me, where like the Leafs had a chance to put the game away with a couple power plays after Florida had made it 4-3, and they weren't able to do it. And again, it's like you're letting them hang around. It's like kind of the same thing. But yeah, Florida kind of, brings their BC game. And, obviously you'd expect a response from Florida next game. We'll see if the Leafs can maintain this sort of level that they found in game one throughout the next couple of games. That'll be interesting to see. Obviously Ekblad will be back for game two, which is significant for them as well in the back end. But yeah, I don't know. Do you have any other takeaways from that one?
Not really. I don't think we can overreact here to one game. I think that even in the chat we were like talking yesterday that if there's going to be a game where the Leafs can kind of catch Florida not bringing their best game, it would be game one. And we saw that Florida they didn't start off well. That just wasn't a good game for them. There was a ton of mistakes. And but what I'm impressed about and what I'm happy about is that game didn't turn into a 6-1 game or a 7-1 game. I liked how Florida came back, and I mean, from like a personal level, as someone invested in the Leafs right now, I like that they were able to battle through that. Even when Florida found their legs, I liked how the Leafs stayed aggressive after the timeout there. After it was 4-3, I think that's going to bode well for the Leafs going forward. It was important not to run away with that game. It was important to keep it close. That even with Florida's maybe B game or maybe even C plus game, even with that, it was still a 1-goal game at the end, right? And I think that's very important, that just kind of for like the mindset that we still need to keep fighting, right? And we still need to keep playing a certain way. And I think that going forward, the way that Florida came back in that game is going to be important for the Leafs moving forward.
Yes. I will also, I like this comment from Rob too, because I completely agree. There's a narrative out there about Wall and Stolarz and how the Leafs are fucked if Stolarz is out. And, that's a huge issue and whatever. Like, it's really not like Stolarz isn't some elite goalie. I know he's been playing like it for, the last few weeks. And then he was earlier in the year, and then he went through a little stretch where he wasn't and whatever. He's had a great season. Not going to take that away from him. He's been fantastic. But like, the gap between them in reality is not as big as it is perceived to be. Wall was shit when he came in last night, but like he hasn't played in 3 weeks and he's coming in cold off the bench and he had no warm up. Like it's very, very, very difficult situation to come into. I don't really blame him for that performance. I don't think it's like some catastrophic event. It's not like you're going from like, maybe a bad example given how Vasilevsky played in round one, but like you're not going from Vasilevsky to Jonas Johansson here. You were going from, Stolarz to Wall, who like realistically Wall was the starter coming into the season. He didn't necessarily lose the job. Stolarz just won it because he got hot and played well and, he's streaky and that's kind of how it goes. I don't think it's like some terrible situation for them if Stolarz can't go. And yes, as Graham says, the issue is that Wall is middle class. It's true. He cannot handle a heavy workload, but he hasn't played in a while, so hopefully his body's a little bit rested. I don't know. We'll see. I would expect Wall to go in game 2, though. I would be pretty stunned if Stolarz was able to come back this quickly. It would feel a little bit, I don't want to say irresponsible because I'm not there. I don't know the situation. I mean, I'm sure the doctors would have to clear him. And if he's able to go for game 2, then he's probably been cleared and he's fine. But like that would be a tad concerning to me if he was back out there in a day or two. But we'll see what plays out. We'll see how it plays out there. All right, we have 2 more games to get to tonight as 2 more series get underway. Before we do, I'm going to pull up our new round 2 ad read because nothing hits like playoff hockey. The road to the cup starts on FanDuel, your home for live bets all playoffs long. With new features like live SGPs, build a parlay any game, any period, or stack multiple matchups onto one slip with Same Game Parlay Plus. And what's better than playoff hockey? Overtime playoff hockey. Get more from the game with live overtime markets. Right now, new customers can kick off the season with $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Just place any $5 bet and you'll get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download FanDuel today and get more with North America's #1 sportsbook. Please play responsibly. Must be 21 plus and present in select states, or 18 plus and present in DC, or 19 plus and physically located in Ontario. Bonus issued is not withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-866-531-2600. Visit connexontario.ca. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. All right. Another East Series begins tonight in the nation's capital in D.C. as the Carolina Hurricanes are taking on the Washington Capitals. Canes -130, Caps +108 on FanDuel. A total really of 6, 5.5 juiced over on FanDuel, -130, a +106 to the under. Canes have taken some money this morning, as is to be expected. They're taking more money since we've gotten on air. I'd imagine maybe they'll take even more. Either way, I know personally I will be betting on Washington in this game. I'm just trying to time it to see when the optimal price for me to get involved is. FanDuel with the worst price in market right now on the Caps at +108. Best price in market on the Canes if you are into that. But yeah, I want to bet on Washington here. I'll give you the floor first, but we're seeing upwards of +123 right now on the Caps. Think we see better? Are you interested in that number? Are you going to get involved at one point? What are you targeting? Take me through all of it.
I'm ready. I like this number on the Caps right now, and I'm ready to bet them right now. But we're gonna wait. So if for whatever reason you can't bet the Caps later, or you can't be around to like watch the screen, Caps are okay right now to bet. I'm just waiting to see how much better I can get. I think that we'll get slightly better at this point. Plus 125 would be outstanding for me to get on the Capitals right now. We're close, but we're not quite there yet. I have this game down to a plus 110, right? And I mean, there's a significant difference here. We talked about it last week that I think Washington's game translates a lot better versus Carolina in the playoffs, and I think Washington will be able to do a lot of the things that the Devils tried to do, but they couldn't, right? So yeah, I think that the Capitals are almost there for me to bet. I will bet them for sure. It's just a matter of how much better I can get. So um, there's nothing more to say. I think the heavier style for Washington, they'll be able to keep Carolina's going to generate shots against everybody, but I think Washington has the ability to kind of keep them on the outside. I don't expect many high danger chances for Carolina, and I expect the Washington forwards, the big forwards there to get on that Carolina defense pretty quickly, and they won't get the same room that they had against a banged up Devils team. So in this game, at least, I do like the price on the Capitals. Series still, we need to go game by game, but
Yes.
I do like Washington in this game here.
Yeah, myself as well. So we'll go ahead and track that. There's plus 123 available right now as well, which I'd imagine other spots will eventually get up to that point as well as more money continues to come in on the Canes. Pretty solid indicator of where this line is going. So we can go ahead and track that. I'm on that myself as well. I wanted to bet over in this game, but we're just not getting the prices that I would have wanted at any point. I was hoping for like a 5.5 minus 115, 5.5 minus 1. We saw that briefly this morning, a bit short of minus 120 that was there throughout the morning, and that is now gone. So nothing that we can really give out here total wise, but I do think this is a bit of a higher scoring game. I think there will be a lot more power play opportunities. We've seen these two teams in the regular season later in the year go at it. They definitely don't like each other. I think there is some bad blood there. I think there's potential for lots of power plays, a lot of penalties early in the series. We saw how the game last night in Toronto was officiated. There were definitely a number of power play opportunities, some horrific calls. That Domi cross-check to the first power play of the game was one of the worst penalties maybe I've ever seen, not even just in these playoffs. I still don't know what they called. So, I mean, I think that they're going to try and not let this get out of hand, especially not early. We saw how Washington's series in the first round went with Tom Wilson and stuff too. So I think they're going to want to put a wraps on that. But yeah, I mean, not much we can do about it right now because this number has run a little bit since the openers and stuff that was out there yesterday. I was hoping the minus 118, minus 119 that was there on the over 5.5 this morning was going to stick around until the show, but it does not. So if it comes back, that would be my suggestion there, would be to get in on an over here, but I don't know that it's necessarily going to come back. So I'm just going to sit this one out. Other game tonight is the Oilers and the Golden Knights. Oilers plus 110, Knights minus 132, a total of 6.5, minus 114 to the over, minus 106 to the under on FanDuel. We have seen the over run even further elsewhere as the over has been getting basically blasted all morning. We are at a point now where there's plus money to the under 6.5 as well, which is extremely tempting. We do not know who is going to go in net for the Oilers tonight, I don't believe. I know Skinner was in the starters net 2 days ago, and then yesterday it was Pickard. I'm not sure who starts. Either way, plus money on under 6.5 right now is extremely tempting to me. How about yourself?
So I was part of that over money earlier. I do have the over in this game, but I mean we're adjusted to where we should be. It should be a juiced 6.5 on the over right now. I don't know how you can line that game differently. We had a juiced 6 when just a couple hours ago. So that's where I was with this game. I don't think we can bet the 6.5 at minus 115 or whatever. So for me, I'll pass on the total. I do like the Oilers. Similar to Washington, I haven't bet them yet, but I will be betting them. I'm okay with this price right now. I just need a little bit better. I have the Oilers down to plus 105 here, right? So it's quite a difference for me, similar to the Washington game. But I will be betting the Oilers. This is another game or another series that we touched on. I think that as this series goes on, we'll see the depth of the Oilers kind of come to the forefront. And also, there's a lot of talk out of the Oilers camp right now about how they started that series against the Kings. They don't necessarily want to start slow in this one. They want to get after it right from the get go, and I think that there is the leadership and the makeup in that group to make sure that 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 doesn't happen. And I mean, also in hindsight, we have to look at the reason why that happened. It wasn't as if the Oilers were sandbagging it. They were legitimately trying to get players acclimated back into the lineup. That was the first time in game one that they dressed that particular lineup, right?
Mhm.
So it took some time. Yes, the Kings let them off the hook, but it also took the Oilers some time to get their legs going and to find the right balance in terms of minutes allocation. So I think they have that now, and I think that their forward depth, the scoring that they can theoretically get from rolling four lines. I think that we're going to start seeing that as the series goes on, and I also think that the edge here is that I do think that the Oilers have made a conscious effort that they're going to be starting better in this series, and I think that that's going to resonate throughout that room here.
Yeah, we saw against LA how they started that series poorly, as was expected. We both expected that. A lot of guys just coming back from injury, a lot of guys still not reintegrated in the lineup. It was going to take some time. We knew the Kings were going to get to them early and hopefully put a stranglehold in the series and put it to bed. They did not, and you could see every little bit of life they gave the Oilers just grew stronger and stronger and stronger. And by the end of that series, they were a complete powerhouse. It looked like they were almost playing a different sport. That Game 5 win in LA, where there was like 19 shots to 3 after the first period, it was just, I mean, it was a statement game from the Oilers. Like they are fully back right now, even without Ekholm. Loved what I saw from them, how they closed that one out. I think they continue that momentum here. I do think they win tonight. I'm obviously very invested in Oilers series stuff here as well. I know you were kind of more on a game-to-game basis, but yeah, I'm invested. I'm going to get reinvested here on the Oilers. Just was never impressed at any point with the Knights. I think they're still figuring their game out. I think they're dealing with a little bit of stuff behind the scenes that we don't know about, like an Eichel injury. A little bit slow on the blue line right now. Their goaltending has not been great. They have not been able to figure out their special teams. That's been a problem for them for a little while, which is very concerning against, this power play that is just incredibly lethal. The penalty kill was rough for the Knights. It did not look good in round one. 5-on-5, they also struggled to generate a bit of offense. They were not great at home. It's not like they were able to control the matchups against the Wild and at least, play really convincingly in those home games. That was not the case at all here. Yeah, and the Oilers, I mean, just pose even more of a matchup nightmare. So I do like the Oilers here. I think this is too big of a number. I'm on this with you as well. Dog day for us in the NHL as we lock in the Caps and the Oilers and the over. Sorry, not the over for yourself because it's run too far at this point. Correct? You had it earlier, but yeah, we're not tracking anything there. For myself, it is a lean towards the under in this Edmonton Vegas game. Nothing I've bet yet. I want to see where this goes, but at the number we're at now, it would be a lean towards the under. But I didn't get involved in the over earlier. I didn't bet anything at this point on the total, and might end up just sitting that out completely. So. Two best bets for us tonight: the Caps plus 123 and the Oilers plus 121. We will go ahead and lock those both in. Do we want to do a mini anytime goal parlay here?
I think so. I think that both of us are expecting, like, even though you lean the under, I don't think it's that you're thinking it's going to be a defensive game, right? It's more
No,
so
I don't think it's going to be
based on
some
the plus
2-1,
money.
3-2. It's just 6.5 plus money is
Yeah.
significant, right? Yeah,
Yeah, so like I think that we're both expecting some goals in these games. So I think we
for
can
sure.
take a look at some goals here. Let's
Um,
let let's get the chat going too. I
yeah,
like that
let's go
Hyman look.
back here. Okay, Hyman from Charles. Hyman 3. Oh, is that shots on goal? I'm guessing. 2 goals in the series. Kane 2 goals in the series plus 140. Barbashev 2 minus 105, and then Hyman and Booch 3 each, plus 140 and plus 500. So yeah, we can do Hyman anytime goal tonight. I like that. Let me see the number right now. 240, best in market at FanDuel as well. I'm good with that for sure.
And then what is what's Connor McDavid? It's like 110. I do like that quite a bit too. I think he's going to score 155.
Yeah.
No, interesting. Yeah, I think we can go with Hyman, but I do think that McDavid scores.
Okay, and then let's get a Caps player in here. I'm just going to pull up these prices. If there's anyone in the chat that wants to suggest one,
Connor McMichael.
Connor McMichael.
He's standing out here.
He had a really nice first round. I will say, I knew McMichael was a good player going to the series and someone to be worried about, but like didn't realize what an absolute pest he was.
He's outstanding.
Like he is he really knows how to stir the pot and like get under the skin of his opponents. He was riling guys up. Not the type of guy who's ever gonna fight or anything like that. You know, he's just gonna try and be a little bit of a rat and a thorn in the side to play against. But he does that and he fills that role very, very effectively. I think he will pose some problems for Carolina here. So I'm down for that. Plus 340 is by far the best price in market as well at FanDuel. So if we want to do that, McMichael and Hyman as our anytime goal parlay tonight.
Yeah, his game translates so well into the playoffs as well. Like, you don't
it really does.
Like guys like that kind of like sometimes they go up and down in the regular season, just because not all regular season games are played like that. But he can score and his game translates well in the playoffs, right? So that's a special player that they've got there.
Yeah, he is. You're good when like by the end of a series, like as you know, someone who's playing against him, when my team is playing against him, how like you absolutely hate him. Just the look of him, just every time you see him come on your screen, you're like, fuck this guy. I'm like, yeah, all right, he did his job. He did his job effectively. So congrats to him. So yeah, a 2-leg anytime goal parlay tonight. Connor McMichael and Zach Hyman. That is 14-1, plus 13.96 on FanDuel. Connor McMichael and Zach Hyman right there. All right, and the two best bets, the Caps plus 123 and the Oilers plus 121. Of course, keep an eye on where this line goes because it's possible we will end up getting a little bit better on Washington, even like, in the 30 minutes closer to puck drop. But yeah, right now, Caps taking a little bit of money again, down to plus 120 is the best in market. So we'll see. I'll be interested to monitor where this goes. It'll be pretty telling for us, at least for the rest of the series as well. That'll do it for us today. Couple games again tomorrow as Leafs-Panthers game 2 goes, and then the first game of the Stars-Jets series, which I am really looking forward to as well. So we'll be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Myself, So Money, and Rob Pizzola as well, as it is a Wednesday. Appreciate everyone for tuning in today. Make sure you like and subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Leave a comment, rate, review if you're listening on podcasts. Anything you can do to help us out, we do appreciate it. Go follow the account on Twitter, all that. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Until then, enjoy the games tonight and good luck on your bets.